What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 102 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zerly, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. Before we get into today's episode, be sure to check out the Discord. I'll have a link in the description below. I'm doing a poll right now on what the next ship build is going to be. And once you join Discord, be sure to click on the next build poll tab on the left. And the list is as follows. I made this list based off the top requests on my YouTube channel. And that list starts with Stargazer, Gemidor Warship, Deep Space Nine and Defiant, Enterprise NX-01, U.S.S. Excelsior, U.S.S. Kelvin, Klingon Warbird, Romulan Valador type Warbird, U.S.S. Titan, and Voyager. Um, so be sure to make your voice heard in that poll. I'll be running that until we get towards the tail end of the Enterprise D tutorial. So this way everybody has a chance to join in on the Discord and vote. But today we've got about, not a super long episode, only about 10 minutes. We'll be getting some more exterior work um, detailing done on our ship. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it today. I've been trying to make my episodes longer, or actually not 10 minutes, 21 minutes. I stand corrected. No, but I've been trying to make my episodes a little bit longer if I can help it, just so we can try to get through this tutorial series just a little bit faster. And what I've also done is I'm going to be doing videos on Saturdays now also. And this should help with the amount of episodes I'm going to be, and content I'm going to be getting out a week. So hopefully that should help us with getting a little bit more done per week on the Enterprise D as we go forward. Because I've been talking about this all week that I really was not expecting the ship to take me so long to build it, let alone put out all the episodes on Minecraft on my YouTube channel. But it just kind of turned out that way. This has turned into a massive undertaking, and I haven't worked on it every single day, but on Minecraft, this has taken up a year of my life. I've been working on this since February of last year, which is crazy. And I'm not done with it. There's still a ton of work to do on the inside, but I'm going down the checklist. I'm getting to a point now where I've been working on it for a year now. Areas are putting a stamp of done on them, and I'm moving on to other sections for the first time. Which is actually very, very rewarding considering the amount of time that I put into this thing. But anyway, right now we're focusing on getting our escape pods established. And I talked about this on, I believe it was Saturday's episode, that I've opted out of making the escape pods bigger like they normally look on the Enterprise D, and I've opted for going for a single block. And my main reason for doing this is to help with the scale of the ship. I want the ship to look a little bit bigger than what it actually is. Not like it's not massive already, but at the end of the day, it is a little bit smaller than a full-scale Galaxy-class ship. So anything that I can do to help make the ship look a little bit bigger on the outside than it actually is, I'm going to do that, because by the time this thing is all said and done, this ship is going to look huge. It really is. And it's going to feel huge on not only the outside, but also the inside. I'm really looking forward to being able to show some of that stuff off. Now, see, this was something that I talked about on Saturday's episode, that we were going to be adding our escape pods in on the row with half slabs where they stick out. And we just did that here. And you can see what I mean, where with the lip, with it coming out just a little bit here, it looks so much better than it being flush with the hull. So we may end up coming back, and all the ones that we did that they were flushing with a hull, I might go up a row until they're sticking out one, and then redoing them, because to be perfectly honest with you, I think that looks better. I think it looks a lot better. But yeah, this whole process that we're going to be doing with the outside of the ship Um, this is going to be kind of a painstaking process because, um, and I talked about this on Saturday's episode, that the Enterprise D's main detailing is the Aztecing, but 9 times out of 10 you never see it. You never saw it on the show really, unless you were super close to the hull of the ship. And other than that, you never really saw it. And the Enterprise D does not have a lot of color details like a Constitution class has, or like the Cerritos had with the blues and yellows. So what I've ended up having to do was look at a lot of different source material for these details, and zoom in and look at different parts of the ship to help get those details, because you take the time to get these details. These are the things that are going to help bring your ship to life, especially on the outside. Because right now, like, think of it like this: we've basically got our canvas on the outside has been set, but we haven't added in any color yet. That's an artist analogy, and I think that's pretty accurate for what we're doing or beginning to do on the outside of the ship, where we've really only just begun to add in that detailing. And once we do add in all this detailing on the outside of the ship, it's really going to help make this thing come to life. But it's just going to be one step at a time. You know, we start with the escape pods, and then we move on to the windows, and then the pinstriping, and little details like that. And when all those things come together, if you go on my Discord channel and go under my current project, my current build project, I have screenshots up there right now where you can see what the finished ship looks like on the outside. And I'm pretty proud of it. I'll never say that it's the best Galaxy class on Minecraft, because it's just not true, but it's the best build that I've ever done. And I'm very, very proud of myself for being able to pull this off, because I got to be honest with you, like, I had people asking me for a long time to build a Galaxy class Enterprise D, and I stayed away from it because I was afraid of it, because I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to do it, and not only do it, but like really do it justice. And with some of it, it turned out to be true, like at first, because like I had a little bit of trouble with the neck and then the deflector dish. I'm not gonna lie, like I panicked just a little bit on the inside, like you guys never saw in the tutorial, but I totally did, because I was like, man, like this isn't coming out the way I wanted to. Like, is this gonna be the build that I, completely fail on? And then I just, got myself together. I took a small break from working on those areas of the ship. I worked on other areas. I looked at a lot of reference material. I jotted some quick sketches down to get an idea, and I came back and I attacked it again, and it came out awesome. And I mean, I'm just, I'm thoroughly impressed that I was able to pull this thing off, because I've never built a ship this scale before. Because I mean, just the size of the saucer alone, you can fit the Cerritos within the length and width of the saucer. Maybe not the height, but the length and width, hands down. So that gives you a scale of how big this thing is. Yeah, this row right here looks a little janky, so we're taking that out. I don't know what it is, but like the transition of like the angles that these four go in, I wasn't feeling it at all. So now we're going to do what I was talking about earlier, where we're going to be transitioning up the rows of the escape pods from being flush in the hull to now they'll actually be sticking out just a little bit. And I think that looks a lot better than what we had before. Yeah, see, that looks, when you compare it to these other ones that are flush, like, it looks so much better. But it's really not a big deal to do this, because you can see we're just going up a row. And I'm literally placing them in the exact same spot where the other ones are. So it's really not that much of a headache trying to figure out the placement on them. But, I mean, this is showing you two ways of doing it. If you like them being flush with the hull, leave them flush. If you like them sticking out a little bit, like how I just added them, do it that way. That's a beautiful thing about Minecraft, and also these tutorials. I don't show all of my experimenting. Some stuff I do off camera, but I try to show a lot of it just to give you guys a variety of ways of doing things, because again, you know, I'm not the type of person that says this is the only way to do it, because that's a load of crap. There's 1,000,001 ways to do this, and hopefully this will give you a couple of ideas on things that you can incorporate into your ship, or at least to help take you to that next step to get you where you need to be. I gotta be honest, I really like how those escape pods are sticking out a little bit. That looks great. You know, there's a reason I'm taking my time with these, because as you can see, I've already deleted a couple of rows of these. Sometimes some of the rows I'm putting down, they're not meshing well. And it's just one of those things where, like, it's kind of hard to describe it, but like I'm trying to get a pattern with the placement on these where it looks natural and it doesn't look out of place. That's the best way I can describe it in the process and what I'm doing right now, other than moving them up. Just the placement of them in general. I'm trying to get something that when you look down at it, it feels like it should be there and it doesn't feel out of place. And if you're looking at it and it feels out of place, then maybe you need to redo it. But so far, what we have going on there, I mean, that looks pretty good. And it helps, it totally helps make our ship look a little bit bigger than it actually is. Now, once we get our windows in, the combination of the escape pods and the windows, like, this thing is going to look massive. And again, check out the Discord. I've got pictures up on there right now where you can see the ship in all its glory with all the windows, or a lot more of the windows. Actually, I was on last night getting the majority of the windows done on the saucer. I'm almost done with it. I have to go and I think I'm going to post some more screenshots today. Well, today for me, which is Sunday, but this video is not going to be dropping until Wednesday. So by the time you guys check this out, I already have those pictures up for you to check out. And this lip that we have going on right here, eventually we are going to get rid of this. If it's not in today's episode, we'll be making a couple of slight tweaks to the exterior of the primary shuttle bay, but not as significant as you think. Like, we're talking very minute, minor changes. Just a couple of blocks being added here and there, and maybe a little bit of pinstriping, and then maybe slightly reconfigure how this area is. Like, one thing I can tell you right now is that we're going to be changing the color of the NCC 1701 to yellow, because I've seen models of the Enterprise D where in this area they're black, the lettering. I've seen other models where they're yellow, and I don't know what it is, at least on the back side. And I did the same thing on the nacelles that hold the engines, that I made the NCC 1701 yellow instead of black. And I did this so that it wouldn't feel so bold. And I don't know why it did, because like it's weird. Like I've done this registration on like my other ships in like different areas, and like it never really felt like it was bold and out of place. But for some reason with the Galaxy class, it just kind of stuck out with me. And it wasn't until I redid it in yellow where I kind of took a step back and looked at it. I was like, man, that actually looks really, really good. Now, I can say, and I haven't even done it yet, the primary registration on the front of the saucer, that'll be black as it should be. But little things like that, you know, we can get away with. And this just chalks it up to, again, that, you know, there's been 5 different variations of this ship. And I don't even think that's counting the STO version of a Galaxy class ship. I think if you count the STO Galaxy class, I think that brings it up to 6. I could be wrong on that, but the point is that there's some variation here that you can go off of, to where you can pick details out of each of them and kind of merge them together. And I think that's honestly, it's totally acceptable, you know, because especially when I made my Constitution class, I did the same thing with the Disco Era Enterprise, and I did the same thing with the Enterprise A from Star Trek Beyond. I took every single screenshot that I could find of the interior, and I merged them together in one. And that's how I was able to get almost a completed interior on the Constitution class. So I mean, I think for that reason, like, you can totally get away with doing stuff like that if it makes sense to do it. It's not always going to make sense to do stuff like that, but like, at least for the exterior for the Enterprise D, since there's so little detail to find if you take off the Aztecing, that's really my point and why I'm bringing this up, that you can look at these different variations of a Galaxy class if you can find all of them, and just kind of go from there. And like, I gotta be honest, I don't even think the 5 variations, I don't even think they have names. I think that they just made slight tweaks here and there in the course of all the seasons and movie that they had the Enterprise D in, from Next Generation and Generations. Best thing I can recommend is just look at different screenshots of the ship. You'll see variations as you go through them, and even there, it's only going to get you so far. What I ended up having to do, and I talked about this on Saturday's episode, I ended up having to go to model or toys of the Galaxy class, which can be a great source of getting extra details. I did this before in some like minor areas, like on the Constitution class. I didn't use it as much like I did for this tutorial, and we'll get into that later on, because some of that stuff I actually did recently. But I did do it, and I had no choice, because I just kept looking and looking, and I wasn't finding the detail that I wanted. So I just went on Google and I searched U.S.S. Enterprise D toy, and I looked up screenshots, and I just looked at. I spent some time studying those pictures, looking for little details that I could add in. And one example of something I was able to pull out of the toy, or from it, was on some of the toys of the Galaxy class, they have red pinstriping going around the phaser banks on the upper and lower side of the saucer. And that was something that I actually incorporated into my build, and I think the ship looks fantastic with it. It has that little bit of, gives it that little bit of extra oomph. And I ended up going in a couple of other areas. I added some red pinstriping on the ship to match that. And it really actually, just finding that one little detail really helped me out, helping me to take it, to bring it up just a little bit more to the next level where it was at. I'm trying to think what else I did just this weekend. Oh yeah, I also added in the Shuttle Bay Doors. You guys haven't seen it yet, but I've also I've got the primary and secondary cargo rooms, and I actually added hull doors on those, because on the show on Next Generation, the cargo bay actually had a big doorway, and I ultimately decided just to add that in on the neck. So I've got 2 extra doorways underneath the primary and the secondary and tertiary, and they sit side by side with each other. And I've got screenshots on my Discord for those as well, if you want to get a sneak peek of it. But no, I went in this weekend and I added in the actual doorways where they're closed now, and I even went in on the neck and I added in airlocks so that we have our primary designated area to get into the saucer or get into the ship now. So I mean, doesn't seem like it, but I got a considerable amount done just this weekend alone. Now we're just going to be slightly shifting the NCC. And it's funny, like this is something that we're going to shift around, I think, once or twice. Got to add a block there, and then we've got to trim everything up. So far looking pretty good. And then just one more. The only thing we don't have is the D, but I could be wrong. I don't believe that on this area of the ship it has the D. I think it just says NCC 1701. I think there's only a couple of areas that it actually says NCC 1701D. I believe it's on the pylons, the outer side of the pylons, and then it's on the upper side of the saucer in the front, and then the lower side of the saucer in the front. But I think anywhere else that it says NCC 1701, it just says that. It doesn't say D after that. Yeah, 'cause this is another area I'll be adding in a little bit of pinstriping here is the primary shuttle bay, because as we zoom out and move around, some of these hull lines, they get lost, you know, like this line right here on the sides. Like this side, you can't even see it. So that'll give us an opportunity to come back later on and add in a little bit of pinstriping just to bring out that detail just a little bit more. But we'll get into that as we go. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap us up today. We've got a considerable amount done. And I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in today's episode. And if you did enjoy this content, please help me out. Hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. New subscribers, don't forget to hit notifications on so you get notified when those new videos drop. And speaking of new videos, you can always catch my new Minecraft episodes dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Also, don't forget to join the Discord channel. I'll have a link in the description below. Be sure to submit your vote on the next build. Once you join the Discord, be sure to click on the next build poll and vote, and I'll have that running until we get close to the end of the Enterprise D. What else? Also, as we make our way to 1,000 subscribers, once we hit 1,000, we're going to be doing a tutorial on the Star Trek Beyond Enterprise A retrofit. I'm really looking forward to that. But anyway, that's going to wrap us up today. I just want to thank you again for tuning in today's episode. I hope everybody has a happy and safe weekend, and I'll catch you on the next episode. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section.